So, any moment now, the red lights will turn to green. Watch Oatway in the green-fronted Escort. No, it's Gollop. Oatway nearly lost it. Gollop goes through into the lead. Keith Farrance, 25-year-old Farrance in the lead, in second position in the Mini, the man who comes from Bury St Edmunds. And Nick Oatway is closing up on it, is going to take the Mini as they go into the left-hander, up Hairy Hill. And now Oatway, watch Oatway, he's the man, because Will Gollop's well away. Oatway in the green Escort is an ex-rugby player, and he applies his rugby tactics unashamedly to motocross. To Rallycross, he's a very, very determined driver, but it looks as though Will Gollop in the turbocharged Saab, that's number 18, has got the legs of the Escort, or has he? No, as I said it. Oatway goes through, Gollop goes down to third position, because up into second goes Keith Farrance. So here is Oatway's chance. The man from Paddington, second in the Lyddon Winter Championship this year, and the man who, like so many of the Rallycross drivers this year, is racing on the continent, and Gollop is out. The turbocharged Saab, Will Gollop, out the race, and it's Oatway now, with Farrance in second position, behind Farrance. There you see the battle for second position now, with number 34, Alan Eckersley in the Escort, challenging Farrance in the Mini for second place, Nick Oatway leading. That's 2 laps completed. It's a 3.5 lap race. And interestingly, when you get a chance, look at the rear left-hand side windows of these cars, and you will see stars on them, and those stars indicate the quality. There you are, you saw 3 stars there on Oatway's car. That means that he's driven in at least 3 finals in national championship meetings. There they are, and there are 1 or 2 4-star men here who finished first, second or third in a national championship, and there is just 1 5-star man here today, and that's the reigning European Rallycross champion who's practicing for a later meeting, Martin Shanker. But Oatway's the man in this race, and he's driven an immaculate race, 32 years old, comparatively unexperienced at Rallycross, but he's not letting that deter him. Look at the way he goes. He wins. Nick Oatway wins, and he wins by a long, long way, because Farrance in the Mini is only just coming through to finish. And as they go on to the chalk, it's Hathaway. Hathaway leading, number 5. Behind him, 16 and 12. 16, Squibb. 12, Colin Parry-Williams. And Parry-Williams is the man to watch, and he's last at the moment. He's been first in both his previous heats. 15, leaning on his colleague as he goes round the corner there. No, it was 16, it was Squibb. There's Squibb. Number 16, Barry Squibb, going up into third position. But it's Hathaway down the 120-mile-an-hour drop from Hairy Hill onto the chalk again at Paddock. Hathaway leading, and as he goes across the line at the end of the lap, Hathaway is leading by 1.8 seconds, having completed 1 lap in this 3.5 lap race. There's the battle. Behind him, number 16, Barry Squibb. 2 major wins with him, and Hathaway really winding on the lock as he goes off the chalk, and you get the complete change of surface on the circuit as they go from the chalk to the tarmac. But of course, not nearly as significant a difference in terms of friction as it would be if it was wet, because the chalk can get very, very slippery here at Lyddon when it's wet. Hathaway leading. Graham Hathaway, but all action behind him too. Dave Wallace, 32 in the white escort. There he is in second place. Squibb in third position. And in fourth position, Colin Parry Williams. And it's a bad race for him. But it doesn't matter too much to Parry Williams, because Hathaway is going as quickly as he possibly can now, with the knowledge that it is the aggregate. There is Parry Williams off the circuit, rejoining it. Well, that's completely blown his chance of doing anything in this race, because they're on the last 1.5 laps now. As we look now down and then up Perry Hill, it's Hathaway leading, and Hathaway is out for a really quick time, quite apart from the win, because as I was saying, it is the aggregate of the two fastest out of the 3 drives that each driver has that decides which final he goes forward to. The fastest 6 going to the A final, the next fastest to the B, the third fastest to the C final, and then the next 6 into the D final. And Graham Hathaway has won his heat here at Lyndon today from number 30, Dave Wallace. In third position, Barry Squibb, number 16, and Colin Parry Williams down in fourth position. But with 2 wins behind him, perhaps he won't be too dissatisfied. A 4-star man there, Graham Hathaway. That means that he's finished first, second or third in a national championship today. Not today, during the year. You've seen that car before. Of course, it's John Greasley's very powerful, 340 brake horsepower powerful Porsche. The man who has finished first this year in one of the smaller Belgian championships. There's a lot of rallycross on the continent, and Belgium is a country that is particularly enthusiastic. So there's Greasley, but now up onto the line, the man who has got to go really well in this heat. It's Trevor Hopkins, who did very well in the second round of heats, but finished last in his first round of heats. As you can see, he's a 5-star man, 3 times British champion, and he's got to do well in this heat to qualify for the top final. And on his right, your left, you just see a bit of number 4, Dave Fuell's car, as coming up to complete the line, number 8, 52-year-old George Warren. And the men to watch, in particular, I will stick my neck out and say, are Dave Fuell, number 4, Trevor Hopkins, number 2, because for them, this race is crucial for their 1980 RAC British Rallycross Championship chances. Nice getaway for Greasley and for Warren, a bad one for Hopkins. Hopkins pushed sideways by Warren. Nothing Warren could do about that, because I think he was nudged by Dave Fuell. But Greasley gets away beautifully off the chalk and onto the tarmac. Greasley in the 340 brake horsepower rear engine, rear drive Porsche, chased by Dave Fuell. George Warren is in third position. Trevor Hopkins is fourth and must do better. Greasley, Fuell, Warren, Hopkins. Now watch Hopkins. Is he going to be able to take George Warren? He's taken Fuell. Both he and Warren are past Fuell, and now this is it. John Greasley ahead, but this is the battle. It's this race for Hopkins. Look at his fiberglass bonnet lid flapping with the vibration. 190 brake horsepower powering that Ford Fiesta. 1 lap completed in this 3.5 lap race. Now Hopkins has got to challenge George Warren, the veteran from Neath. Fuell isn't hanging back as Hopkins is going through. He's going to power around on the outside. He's taking it very wide. But now Warren has got the line up to the hairpin at the top. Beautifully organised. He shuts the door. Hopkins is going to take it this time. He's got his wheels on the grass and he's now through into second place, or is he? Yes, he's got through on the inside line. Warren can't get through here. Beautiful bit of driving by Trevor Hopkins, but Warren fights back. Well, now, can Trevor Hopkins do anything about John Greasley, who is in the lead? Because it's 3.1 seconds between John Greasley, who is leading, and Trevor Hopkins, who is second. There's Greasley, the leader. he's completed 2 laps, 1.5 laps to go. Hopkins has fought his way past Fuel and past Warren, and now he's pulling away. And as they go up Hairy Hill, the gap between Greasley, the leader, and Hopkins is down to 2.6 seconds. Greasley. Hopkins, 2.4 seconds. This is the 3rd lap. I don't think Hopkins can possibly do it. So it's John Greasley. Power off just momentarily there. He's into the last half lap now. The gap between him and Hopkins is 2.4 seconds. So Greasley is holding the difference between himself and Trevor Hopkins, the 3-time British Rallycross champion, as he comes off the chalk for the 3rd and last time, takes the checkered flag and wins John Greasley in the Porsche. 2nd, Trevor Hopkins. 3rd, Dave Fuel. 4th position, George Warren, who was going so well at the beginning of the race. Oh, great stuff. And a fine drive for John Greasley, because Greasley hasn't been driving in Rallycross all that long. He was 2nd in the GT class of the European Championship final. There he is out of the car. Well, if you think you've seen a lot of action in that heat, and you did, you're going to see a great deal in the next heat, I think, because just coming onto the line now is the man who has been 2nd fastest today, John Welch, number 3 on the left, leading British driver in the European Championship. Just easing up into him, the tremendously spectacular Richard Paynton in the V8 engined Triumph TR7. There's Welch, there is Paynton in the front engine rear wheel drive Triumph. Then the reigning British champion Bruce Rushton, that is him, number 1. Then completing the line, number 6 Tony Drummond, the fastest man of the day so far. Well, this could be it. This could be the decider. Who goes into the fight? And again, it is Paynton who uses every mouse power in that engine of his. And there are 300 horsepower there. And he steams away from the line. And it's Richard Paynton in the Triumph TR7 with the V8 engine. And look at the lead he has in the first half lap. And the lead he has, that is over Tony Drummond, who is 2nd, John Welch, who is 3rd, and the reigning British champion Bruce Rushton, who is 4th and last. And it's Drummond challenging Paynton. Drummond, the Yorkshireman. John Welch isn't giving up, he's 3rd. End of lap 1. Paynton sideways, Drummond closes up, but Paynton gets the power down at the right time, and Welch is through into 2nd place with his boot lid ripped off. Look at Welch's boot lid as he goes round Chesham's Drift. There he goes, number 3. Look at his boot lid. And there's a terrific scrap too behind the 2 leaders, because number 6, Tony Drummond, has got right behind him Bruce Rushton, but there is the battle for the lead. 2 distinct battles. Bruce Rushton, the champion, is last. Richard Paynton in the TR7 V8 leads into Hairy Hill hairpin, and Welch is challenging. Welch is going to take the lead. He's done it, he's through. John Welch goes through. And look at Welch's hands on the wheel, and Paynton, is Paynton going to lose it? Yes, yes! Paynton has lost it, down to last. He overcooked it. Well, that's where experience counts. Wow, what a race, what a heat, and there's still the finals to come. Tony Drummond 2nd, number 1 Bruce Rushton, the champion, in 3rd position and challenging for 2nd. Well, it's going to be Welch's race. Still another full lap to go. John Welch leads, Tony Drummond is in 3rd place, Bruce Rushton is 3rd. Drummond 2nd, Rushton 3rd. Well, John Welch won't know, of course, and he's got an air-cooled petrol tank and pump. Very special fuel equipment in these Rallycross escorts, which cost anything between £12,000 and £20,000 to make. And Tony Drummond is starting to close up on John Welch, but it's too late. Unless John Welch has something happen to him on this last corner, he is the winner. He's the second fastest time today, and it wouldn't be at all surprising if he's been faster and fastest in this heat. Welch wins, Drummond second, Rushton third, and dropping back in fourth is the assembly coming up for the B final. 6 cars, good, true and strong, battling for the 7th to 12th places in the Rallycross Championship of 1980. In the front rank, 3 times British champion, number 2 in the 190 horsepower Ford Fiesta, Trevor Hopkins, fated not to be champion this year. So he's going for 7th position. Alongside him, number 4 is Dave Fuel in the Ford Escort. In the second rank, 2 more escorts, number 30 Dave Wallace and then Barry Squibb, and completing the 6-car lineup, the third rank, number 8 veteran 52-year-old George Warren, and the Mini there, the white Mini you can see, of Trevor Reeves, who succeeded in battling through to the B final. And that's a very powerful motor car. There is a rumour, incidentally, that the new British Leyland Mini Metro is going to be rally crossing before very much longer, and that'll be something to see. And so will this. Is Trevor Hopkins going to get away properly this time? And the answer is yes. He's into Chestnut Drift in second position, behind Dave Fuel. This is the B final. 7th place to 12th position in the championship will be decided in this race. And streaming onto the tarmac go Dave Fuel, Trevor Hopkins determined to do well in this race. Behind him, George Warren. In 4th position is number 30, Dave Wallace. Up Hairy Hill. In 5th position, number 16, Barry Squibb, into the hairpin. Hopkins leads, he's got ahead of Fuel. Now you can see what the Ford Fiesta of Trevor Hopkins from Egerton, British champion in 1976, 77, 78 and second in 1979 can do. Although Hopkins was driving an Escort in the previous years, except for the end of 1979 when he moved to Fiesta. A 5-star man, as you see from the window of his car. That means to say that he's finished first, second or third in a European Championship event. And Dave Fuel giving him no rest. 3 distinct races, 2 of them for 2 cars. Hopkins, my goodness, Trevor Hopkins is showing what he and the car can do. I suspect his dander is up a bit. He will obviously be disappointed, to say the least of it, that he hasn't got into the A final, which is going to decide the champion for this year. And it's the first time he hasn't been in that for 4 years in the last 5. Dave Fuel behind him in second position comes from Redditch. And he's challenging. Now, this is lap 3. It's a 5.5 lap race. Look at the frontal area of the Fiesta compared with the Escort behind it. That's not one of the new Escorts, of course. We've still got to see them in Rallycross, and hopefully we will. Front-wheel drive they are, as is the Fiesta, and the wheel comes right off the ground. The offside rear wheel of Trevor Hopkins' car, now doing 100 miles an hour plus, off the tarmac, onto the chalk. Watch the front wheels and see him get the lock on. It's the front wheels that the power's going down through on the Fiesta. Now through the flick at the end of the chalk, onto the tarmac shortly, onto Chestnut Drift again, and Hopkins leaning right back, utterly relaxed in one of the very latest type helmets when you get a close look at it. Up Hairy Hill, lap 4. This is where Fuel tried last time. The braking balance looks a bit awry on Hopkins' car, and he puts the brakes on. Obviously, all the weight goes forward. That's where the engine and the gearbox are, very light at the back. The near side rear wheel comes off. Fortunately not for him, the offside rear wheel as well. Through the flick again, now into Chessons. Watch 2 top Rallycross drivers at work. Hopkins fuel. One full lap now to go. They are on their 5th lap. And it looks as though Trevor Hopkins is going to finish 7th. There's the wheel again. He's not getting much tyre wear on that. And Dave Fuel can't do anything about it. Hopkins accelerates away. Just for the record, behind them in 3rd position in the heat, it's still George Warren coming onto the chalk. In 4th position, it is still Dave Wallace. In 5th position, it is still Barry Squibb, and that's it, because Trevor Reeves is out of it as Hopkins and Fuel come onto the tarmac for the last time. The checkered flag is waved. Trevor Hopkins finishes 7th in the championship. Dave Fuel finishes 8th in the championship by finishing 1st and 2nd in the B final. And no animosity there, no angry looking across the wheel or shaking of fists. A good clean fight, and Trevor Hopkins, 5-star man, won it and finished in the process lower in the championship than he has finished in the previous 4 years. Well, as they go off the circuit, into the paddock, now we come to the big one. And in pole position, the man who has fought so very hard, so very long to be British champion, and it's number 3, John Welch. There he is in the Ford Escort, 2nd in the European Championship round at Lyddon just a couple of weeks ago. He's been racing for 10 years. He was 2nd in the British Championship, this championship as long ago as 1976, 1st in the Dutch Championship this year. But you can see just being pushed back a bit, number 6, another black Escort, that of Tony Drummond from York. He's won 3 major races this year. He only started racing this season in June, although he's got a lot of previous experience, of course. So there are the 2 top men in the front rank. Behind them is just coming up to the line now, the yellow TR7 Triumph with the V8 engine, as in Rover cars, of Richard Payton, who has been in absolutely scintillating form this afternoon with fantastic getaways. Front engine, rear wheel drive, and he will be going all out for victory because it'll mean a great deal to British Leyland if he can win it. Number 5 is Hathaway, Graham Hathaway, 10 years experience, motor mechanic, and he's won well over 100 cups. He won at Talbenny this year. He won at Brands this year. 4th overall in the Belgian Championship. And behind them, on the extreme left, in the white Escort, the reigning British champion, Bruce Rushton, number 1. And number 23, the distinctive Porsche of John Greasley. 340 horsepower, 5.5 laps. And this race is going to decide the Rallycross champion of 1980. Wow, what a start! And I suspect it was much too early. Indeed it was. Richard Payton let his clutch foot enthusiasm overcome the lights, and he seared through, which must have given John Welch and Drummond quite a nasty start. Now, but they didn't get away too quickly to be able to stop them all and reform. Now, he mustn't do that again, or he's going to be in very real trouble with the Thames Estuary Automobile Club officials, who are, as ever, competently running this meeting. A reform, then. Well, it's nervousness time, of course. There's a lot hanging on this race, and the man that gets into the first corner first has got an enormous advantage here at Lyddon. John Welch, very calm, very deliberate. Probably not much nerves because he's so experienced. Right, let's try it again. And once again, Richard Payton is lining his car up so that he can sprint through the middle. And now watch the lights. Red, go! And Payton, oh my gosh, Payton's really hit Welch's car and lost it. And he's bullied off the circuit. Well, there you go, you see, that's what you get for enthusiasm. But now Peyton's car seems to be motoring well, or is it? He's dropping back as I look across the course, and it looks as though it looks to me as though Peyton's got a wheel off, right at the back. He's off the course. Yes, his tyre's been stripped right off. So that's his race finished. We can regrettably forget about Richard Payton, a very, very disappointed man. And it's Tony Drummond on the first lap, out of 5.5. And he's leading John Welch. The two sinister black Ford Escorts are leading at the end of lap 1. Tony Drummond, John Welch, Graham Hathaway, Bruce Rushton, John Greasley. That's the order. There is John Welch. That's the danger man as far as the leader, Tony Drummond, is concerned. And Welch is starting to close. Drummond's lost a bit of time there, getting it sideways. Welch took advantage of it, close right up. There you see the battle for third position. It's Graham Hathaway and the reigning champion in the white Escort, Bruce Rushton, as they go. And with them is John Greasley in the Porsche. 1 lap completed. Coming up to complete lap 2, and then there will be 3.5 to go. And it's still Drummond. Number 3, Welch in second place. They are pulling away, and and Welch is now right on Drummond's boot lid. Great stuff. Remember that Welch had his boot lid sprung open in the previous heat, which he won. And remember, too, that Tony Drummond has put up the fastest time of the day that we have had at Lyndon so far. And John Welch has put up the second fastest. Well, I will make a little prophecy, and that is that Tony Drummond has only got to stay cool and he'll win. Because these two cars are very, very evenly matched. Tony Drummond, of course, being in front, has got the advantage of being able to choose the line, and it is only by harrying Drummond that Welch is going to be able to dislodge the Escort in front of him and get through. And actually, I think Tony Drummond is driving more smoothly than John Welch at the present moment. And there's still a great battle going on for third place behind these two. Oh, John Welch is now he's getting aboard, and now that's it, bang, bang, and off, that's it. John Welch's race is over, and that was foreseeable. Those two are very determined rivals indeed, and let's see whether John Welch is all right. He should be perfectly all right because he's got safety belts on, but he's slumped down in the seat, and you can see that his steering wheel is badly bent. I'm afraid that looks a nasty one, and they are stopping the race. Oh dear, to put it very mildly indeed. Usually one can be sure these cars are so strong and the drivers are so securely belted into their seats that even a very heavy contact and thump like that can leave the driver dazed and shaken, but okay. But it looked to me as though John Welch may have submarined into his safety belt, which means that he will have slid down the seat into the 6-point contact belt. Let us hope that he's all right. But what an unfortunate, to put it very mildly indeed, end to that race, because a terrific battle between Drummond and Welch. And I cannot tell you, obviously, what the problem with Welch is. They're undoing his safety belt. They've got his helmet off. And hopefully we will see that very welcome sign soon of a standing up driver, because he may well just be very, very badly dazed, because it was a terrific thump that he hit the bank with. And once again, I'm always saying this at Lyndon, hats off to the organisation, because I can see that already the ambulance is there, the rescue car is there, the wagon to pull the car away is there. Well, I'm not going to make any guesses, you just don't know. Well, there's the breakdown wagon, but that's the least of the club's problems at the moment, because the car can very easily be pulled away and repaired. And round on that particular corner, you probably saw earlier on. And, well, there's a very, very, very deep sigh of relief from me because, as you can see, John Welch is very conscious. He is obviously very dazed, poor chap. But it looks to me, that's the doctor in the yellow ski cap, the woolen, with a woolen hat, with him. So, as usual, the right people are in the right place at the right time. And thumbs up. John Welch is okay. Thank heavens for that. I will make a guess and say that he is nothing worse than shaken, though he may have sprained something. And with a 4-car rerun for the final there, I'm glad to tell you that John Welch is perfectly okay. And the other car that is not taking part in this 3.5 lap rerun is that of the reigning champion, Bruce Rushton, who broke his rear suspension and hasn't been able to get it fixed in time. And look at the position that Richard Paynton has got. His rear wheel was broken. 4 men have physically lifted up the back of the car in the middle of the field and replaced that wheel, and he is in an absolutely superb position to use all the power of that V8 engine of his and punch his way past Tony Drummond, number 6, into the lead at Chesson's Drift on lap 1. Well, he's in a perfectly marvellous position to do it, but will he be able to do it? He's up against Graham Hathaway, number 5, who is just coming into the picture now on the right in the light blue and orange Escort, and he's up against John Greasley's Porsche number 23. 4 cars, the driver of one of those cars will be the champion, 3.5 laps. And this time Paynton does get a flyer. And he's got the inside line, he's kept Tony Drummond out. Tony Drummond is in 2nd position. Richard Paynton has got the advantage. Tony Drummond gets it sideways, Hathaway goes through, Greasley goes through. So Drummond, the hot favourite, who was leading when the previous race was stopped, is now last, and Richard Paynton has got the chance with the triumph. No, has he? Hathaway through. Richard Paynton overcooked it. Now the gloves are off. Paynton has lost the lead, and he's going to be flat out to regain it, and Tony Drummond is back with them. This could be a classic final. Don't forget it's a 3.5 lap. Hathaway, Paynton, Greasley, Drummond is the order at the end of lap 1. Paynton challenging. He can use his power when he comes off the chalk and onto the tarmac to get past Hathaway. And if he's in a good position as they come out on the left-hander at Hairy Hill, which is where he lost the lead, he can regain it. And he's got the inside line. If Hathaway drifts out here, Paynton can get through. John Greasley still in 3rd position. Now, Paynton, no, he's lost it. If only he'd kept the power on there, he could have come up alongside Hathaway and taken the lead as they came down Hairy Hill. Still a very close thing indeed. The end of lap 2, 1.5 laps to go. It's still Graham Hathaway leading. Paynton 2nd, Drummond is 3rd, and John Greasley is dropping back and in trouble. Well, it would be poetic justice in a way if Hathaway won, but Paynton's not going to let him if he can possibly avoid it. Now they are into the last full lap. It's now or never as far as Richard Paynton is concerned, but Hathaway can slam the door in his face all the time. Hathaway, 1st at Talbenny, 1st at Brands. So he was 1st in the 1st and the 3rd of the 3 rounds that have led up to this final event which decides the Rallycross champion of 1980, and it looks to me as though Richard Paynton's blown it because Hathaway's got away from him now. He's broken loose. Paynton can close up, but there is no way, I will prophesy, short of Graham Hathaway having trouble on the last bend which he's on now, that he can fail to be the champion, although Paynton's coming right up in the closing stages. This is it. Graham Hathaway's going to be the champion.